Hey y'all.
Hey, we was just having a conversation before. I told her, listen, it's unscripted. So if you hit live and we come in the conversation, they got to hear it. It's unscripted. It's what we do.
Listen. Good evening, y'all. Welcome back to another edition of Unscripted Beautiful Life. We are
Mr.
and Mrs. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Let's first start out by
Listen.
saying happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope everybody Thanksgiving was as joyful and uh heart filling
No
as
drama.
two thumbs up for that one. Two thumbs up. Those that was with us at our last marriage retreat, and the question that came up, no fights, y'all. Yeah, awesome, awesome. So we making progress all the way around, all the way around. Not even just in marriage, we making progress. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna have to silence my phone.
I did too. So tonight's topic is something that I think is very important for anyone in a relationship, not even just with um marriages, but just workplace relationships, friendships, family members, and that is check your feelings at the door.
Check them feelings at the
Check
door.
them feelings at the door.
If y'all don't know what that means, we're gonna get into it tonight because I think that checking your feelings um helped us out as well. One thing that I always had told Trina was like, babe, I don't care that you come home and talk to me about the job, but just don't talk at me. Then that way it doesn't feel like I'm the one that's taking on whatever might have upset her at her job. And I'm saying I'll reciprocate that same thing. I will come in and I will talk to you about it. But I'm not going to make you feel like you're the person that has to take on that heat. So this is definitely what we're talking about tonight, and it's going to go a lot of different places. I mean, we're going to stay on topic like we always do and don't, but checking your feelings at the door, I feel like it's definitely it helped us tremendously. That's for sure. But also, if I didn't communicate that to Trina, she wouldn't have never known. So it's also communication plays a big part in that as well. So, and not taking things personal. So if your significant other says, um, you know what, babe, I love talking to you about your job, but sometimes I think you talking at me and not to me. Don't take it personal. It's just how that person feels. And we can't get upset when someone tells us about their feelings and then we take it personal. Now that's their feeling. They're not taking no shots at you or anything like that. That's just their feeling. So don't take that personal. And that's anybody. Your brother tell you something, your sister tell you something, close best friend or something like that. Let's not take those things personal because we all have feelings.
Hey, Miss Bonnie. Yeah, so you're right. It we all do have feelings, right? But I think that's when we take things personal when um it hits, right? It may cause us to question what we do, how we move, how we talk, how we flow, how we work. And so no one, right, likes to feel like, oh, I did something wrong, or
Yeah.
maybe someone doesn't like me. And I know for me personally, that was that, and it still is actually. I'm a work in progress, but it's a hard thing to get through because you are looking for the acceptance. You are looking for, hearing that you did a great job thing, but understanding my journey has really been about peeling back the layers and like truly accepting myself for the flaws and all, which means, hey, I don't always get it right, and understanding that that's okay, right? Because when you grow up and you're the oldest, you may be coming from, like we did, a single family home, parent home. Dad was around but not in the home. It was my sister and I, and so there's a lot of responsibility that came with that. And so you understand, or I understood, um with that responsibility also came pressure, right? Because you have to make sure that you're okay while mom is working or while dad is working and things like that. And so there's that independence that kicks in, right? Because now we have to do for ourselves. And so with that, you don't necessarily learn how to roll with the flow of things because there's that need to control because you need to make sure that everybody is good. And so it's hard. It's hard to have somebody tell you, like, hey, you don't have it all together like you think you got it together. But that's when I think the true friendships and the true um friend, your sisters, your brothers, the ones that you know that you can say, hey, they can pull you by your collar and be like, listen, you was wrong, all the way wrong. I need you to get it together. But you, not everybody can do that, right? You have to really build that relationship
Yeah.
and build that bond to be able to receive that, because not everybody um can say when you're wrong, and
Yeah.
like you really receive that because you understand from the connection that you've had that they aren't coming in from a harsh place.
Right. Right. They just coming in from with love. They're coming in with your pure love, and it's funny because um it's times where your own family, you can't even take your own family telling you that this is how
Why
I
you
feel.
stepping my toes tonight?
No, man, like we said, we ain't in competition. You
Hey,
know that.
Frida.
You know we ain't in competition with nah. But it's just one of those things that I I say this to my coworkers every day. I instill this into them because we work in customer service. And if you take what they're saying to you personally, then you're not going to be in any job field long, because it's an old saying, customers are always right. They're not always right. But at the same time, if you just let them vent and let them get out what they say, a lot of times you'll see that you're like, oh, it really wasn't me. It was the situation, and I
Mm-hmm.
had nothing to do with that situation. Is we can't take what someone tells us for granted and just say, oh, nah, that ain't me, because it could be you. Michael Jackson used to say, "As a man in the mirror." So you have to be able to stand in the mirror and not just like what you see physically, but like what you see emotionally, like what you see
Mentally.
mentally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not just, it's because beauty is deep inside. You know, it's very deep inside, and we have to be able to. They say we wear our hearts on our shoulders. You gotta
Our
be able to put
sleeves,
on our sleeves.
on our sleeves.
So what then we're gonna put our beauty on our shoulders then. That's what we're gonna do. We put beauty on our shoulders and we're gonna walk with it. Because as Rick always say, men beautiful too. Yes, we are. Inside, outside. Inside, outside. It's awesome. It's awesome where we have grown together in this journey that we're taking, and you can't live in the past. You know what happened in the past, you can't change the past. All you can do is change your future.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to continue living in the past, you have no room to grow for your future because you're still looking backwards. Your back is behind you for a reason.
What is this?
Let it go.
There's that saying about the rear view mirror. Like the rear view mirror is smaller because it's behind you,
It's
whereas
behind you.
the mirror, your front windshield is much wider. So because you're supposed to be moving forward. But when we say check your feelings at the door, for us, it's been if you've had a rough day at work, check it right there at the door.
Yeah.
Like get it off of you. Let the woes of the job, the anxiety, the pressure, like all the things that were hitting you at work, stay at the door, because we are not right. Your home life isn't the punching bag. Like we can help bring some clarity to the situation or listen when you need to talk it through. But if you are already um at a bad headspace, right? And you can come in, especially like come into our house where it's just like complete chaos all the time because the dog running, the kids running, the balls bouncing, everything. If you already
Fish is making noise too.
fit like everything, right? If you're already on edge, then that extra loud noise is like, it's not going to do nothing but add to it. And so you have to understand, like, listen, before I take this home, let me take some deep breaths. So that's where meditation comes in, and the deep breathing comes in, putting on your favorite song, like, listen to, doing whatever you can
Yep.
to help get you into a mental space, because we don't, we're not the punching bags. Like, we didn't have anything to do with your day.
Mm-hmm.
So leave it at the door.
Yeah. So before you continue with that, can I even take that a little bit further? Let's not even leave it at our front door, because sometimes that might sneak
That's
underneath the
good.
door. Let's leave it at the door at the job. Because I'm gonna say this: you're gonna leave out the job, right? And you already are built up with everything that was going on at the job all day. Then you're gonna get in that car, whether you gotta take public transportation, whether you gotta drive, no matter what you gotta do, something in that day while you driving to work and from work is gonna make you even madder. If you already mad from the job, then we got road rage. And
Yeah.
that's going down another whole tunnel. So this is what I would say, or I would do, is my
Again,
work.
the views and opinions of this beautiful life are our views and
You need that
opinions.
jump to scroll across the bottom.
Right.
So you don't have to keep saying it. But me, and I'm pretty sure, because she agreed to it. She was like, yeah, you know what, that's right. Before I get out my office, I shut my laptop, boom. I'm leaving everything right at that front door of the job. And I'll pick it up tomorrow when I come in. Now I got a clear head to drive home. I got a clear head to drive home. And guess what? Something on that way home, even with your favorite song on, you bopping, somebody gonna cut you off. And guess what? Now, bang, you back at it. So now I can check that at that car door before I even walk to my front door. I'm gonna check it at the car door. All right, God, give me strength. I'm good. Let's walk in. And now you got a smile walking in that door. And I'm gonna tell you what I told my kids. If I come in the house and y'all ain't standing at the front door, Daddy, we got a problem.
Listen, so y'all, we are now like this. Hey, 20.
and I will let y'all know it's a wonderful feeling. The kids don't do it, but my biggest fan,
When
she
I can
on
sit
it.
there, I am there.
My biggest fan is on it, and I don't blame the kids because they out there doing their own thing. But my biggest fan, she be right there. Hey babe, I'm here. Yes, there you go.
There you go,
Cheesing. Yes,
cheesing.
I am. Always.
Oh, Eddie on here.
Yeah, man. We bringing in some heavy hitters. Some heavy hitters. I was able to actually. I already had the greatest respect for Trina's pops. I seen Reverend Johnson over the
Not Reverend
yeah,
Johnson.
I seen Reverend Johnson over Thanksgiving break, and my respect level went through the roof, man. I said, dang, I didn't know he got down like that. When you hear somebody say that grace, boy, because I say the kids grace. I'm always on the kids grace, and he blessed that food, and he ain't just blessed the food, man. So, Papa Joe, appreciate you, brother. For real, man.
Yeah, Papa Joe.
Papa Joe, that's my guy, man. That's my guy. I speak highly of him. But yeah, it's checking that at the door. It goes a long way. It really does. And it's some things that you could do to help you with checking them at the door.
Well, before you do that, I
Let's
also
do it.
want to talk about the other perspective that sometimes the home environment has created the moment where you got to check the door.
Church.
Because, like, with me being home now, things, may not go the way that I plan to. Like, there's still things that happen. And so I have to be mindful of when the kids, even when I'm picking the kids up from school, when he's coming home, that I've left it in the space, and trying to understand, like, when those moments come, like if I'm working on a project and it doesn't go well, or I burn myself on a heat press, like whatever goes on, that I have to make sure I can address it right then and there. Because the moment I take it any further, then I have now impacted my beautiful, and that now I'm out of my zone of creativity because I'm still focused and fussing because the computer froze. Like, y'all, The most frustrating thing is you trying to work on something and the computer wants to do an update, and you like, I got time for this. But it's a reminder that we don't control anything. Like technology is going to do what it does. And
Mm-hmm.
so I have to be mindful and intentional and understanding that just because things go wrong in the house doesn't mean that I have the right to allow that to impact the kids, Andre, or even the dog. Because y'all, the dog sometimes gets it from me in here too because I'm so frustrated with stuff. But just understand,
I
like
gotta
it's
put the
a
camera in
two,
here, babe.
huh?
You be beating my dog.
No,
Put the camera in this joint, y'all.
really.
Nah, I just mess
Really.
with. I
But
just
just
mess with.
understanding, like it's a two-way street. The fact of, your spouse or, your partner may be coming home with it, but you also may be creating that space too. Like when you sit down and think about your home, have you created a beautiful life in your home? And for me, for the longest, I couldn't say that I did because it was like I was so stressed out. I'm like, listen, I quit everything. Everything is done. Like I'm done. I'm stop mom. Like I done told us, I'm not mommying no more. Like it, because you just get into a bad space sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and you understand. Like, listen, it's not their fault. Like there's something in me that I gotta check. Like I gotta check my feelings, and that's when like journaling,
Yeah.
doing some
Yeah.
music, like whatever it is, getting there some water, playing with bees, like whatever it is, so that I'm staying in a happy, beautiful headspace so that when they do come home, then we still have a beautiful home. It's crazy, but it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I say, y'all gonna hear me say this all the time. You gotta do what works for you. If you haven't found that beautiful place yet, this is where you have to lock in with yourself
Mhm.
and see, okay, when do I feel most comfortable? For somebody, it might be taking a bubble bath, lighting candles. Somebody else, it might be just watching football. It could be cooking in your kitchen. Find that place that where the kids know, the dog knows, your husband knows, your wife knows. I'm in my place because I need to clear some space, and you have to respect those boundaries. So Trina journals all the time, and I will go downstairs and watch television, and she's like, "Oh, you can stay up here and watch TV." I know how my brain works. I'm not focused if the television's on, even if it ain't something that she wants to watch. It's just the other clutter noise. So for Trina, her journaling, I know that that's what she does and what she may need. She may not think that, but in my head, I think that. So I give her that. I give her that space, and I sometimes I might fall asleep down here, because I'm just watching football, watching TV. And another thing that we discussed is that sometimes the light bothers her with the TV on
Sometimes, all the time.
all the time. But then so let me say, like, baby, you can watch TV. No, if I know that the light bothers you, I'm not gonna watch TV up here.
But I say that because I have to also honor that it's your space too. Right? It's about compromising. So if I know that you want to sit upstairs and watch TV in the room and not be down in the basement or whatever, and I can get by with the TV on, it's just gonna take me a little bit longer. That's where the compromise come in.
Okay,
But
okay, go ahead, go
but
ahead.
I have to be mindful about the compromise to say, am I genuinely compromising or am I at a petty compromise where I'm gonna let him watch TV, but I know I'm upset, like it's gonna bother me. So why would he even really ask? Like that's the petty compromise. Whereas if I can just like genuinely be like, you know what, it's his space to watch your TV, do what you do. Like I have to now get in a place where if I am going to say to you,
I'm
it's
laughing at Tiffany.
okay, right? Oh, if I'm going to say to you that it's okay to do whatever, then I have to really be honest with myself that it's okay.
Right,
Like I
right,
can't just be saying it's okay because I want to people please.
right.
So I'm no more petty compromises. So maybe we, you know,
But again, it's also this. It's not even just the light thing. I'm a I'm a train wreck when I sleep with my noise. All right, like it
That is the honest
the
truth, y'all.
quietest town in the world. Think of a train going through that jump with the horn going. "Meow." That's me times 10. You know, and I understand that. And when people like, listen, people like you snore. I'm like, nah, I don't snore. How I'm gonna tell myself I don't snore when I'm asleep? Nah, I don't snore. You can't tell me I snore. I don't snore. But when
Listen,
Trina
y'all.
when Trina says this, I don't watch TV upstairs because I watch TV to fall asleep. And then so the light is on. I fall asleep before her. Now the train is going through the China shop and it's breaking every China glass that's in there. And now she can't sleep because the is going on. So
Oh God.
it's her compromising, but I understand and it does not bother me because when I know she sleep, it's been times where I'll go upstairs and I'll see the light still on, I'll come sit right back down this joint. I go sit right back down, and it doesn't bother me. Like, babe, I want you to understand, it does not bother me because sleep is next to the best thing in the world. So if you're not getting your proper sleep at night, that'll throw your next day off anyway.
You're right.
So
You're
I
right.
mean, it doesn't bother me. If it bothers you that I sit down here, you just let me know, and then I'll sit up there with you till you fall asleep. But I'll try not to fall asleep, you know. But that's my compromise to her because I know she needs to go to sleep before I do. Cause then she gonna have to go get on the couch, or I might have to go get on the couch or something. Cause she not gonna sleep once I get the train going through the China shop.
But hold on. Don't be trying to ignore this message Tiffany said about your CPAP test. Like you need to go back to
I
your
see.
self study. Oh,
I didn't
okay.
even read
Yeah,
that part
Tiff,
because I
tell him
was kind of
again.
talking.
Tell him again.
Um,
I'm just
all
saying.
right, all right. You know what? I got a physical coming up, so
I will
remind me,
put it
please
in.
remind me. Because that's another thing that since we even got on it, let's get on that real quick. Black men, go to the doctors if you know, and don't, ladies, because I could be gone if Trina didn't stay on me. I'm never anything that happens to me. I'm never ever afraid to talk about it. Joe, Trina's father, put me on with a doctor, and he said, "Go see him, Dre. Man, he's great."
This was before that. Because you kept having headaches.
Yeah, yeah. And so I was taking medicine, and
No.
no, hold on, babe. I was taking medicine, and I stopped taking my medicine because the doctor that I had, I kept missing appointments. So he gave me my pink slip, y'all. He's like, I ain't gonna see you no more. So I had to find a new doctor. And so in the midst of all that, I reached out to Joe, and I'm having headaches, all of these things. I mean, I'm thinking of sinus headaches and all that. It was not none of that. My pressure had gotten to stroke level high. When I say stroke level high, I was like two something over 180 or 170. It was very, very bad. And so I go to the doctor. They do the blood work, everything. They was like, everything's good. My kidneys working fine. Everything was good. It was just my pressure was just ridiculously high. Sent me to the Bowie Health Center. They ain't let me out the health center until it got to a point where they was like, okay, we can send you home now. And those that are in
That wasn't it.
what?
You had, because of the headaches, you were at the Wall Chapel Right Time place, and they said your pressure was too high that you needed to go to the emergency room. So we went to um Annapolis Hospital.
Yes,
And
but
the
that
nurse,
was from the doctor. The doctor sent me to the Bowie Health Center.
well, that time, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about the one for me that was the wake up call was that you needed to get your health together was when I had been pregnant with Ariana, I think. Because this
And
is,
and when I
yeah.
was sick, and now
So
you,
so I was
I was,
pregnant with Ariana. You had gone to, you kept having a headache, so we took, you went down to the right time. And the lady was like, your pressure was too high. You needed to go to Annapolis Hospital right now. So we went to Annapolis, and the lady at the check-in nurse
yeah.
had said to you that you was a walking stroke and that you ought to be ashamed of yourself because your wife is pregnant and you walking around here like that. or
Yeah.
when we
So
at Bowie Town, wherever we was at. That's
yeah,
I just remember that was the conversation, and that was the
that scared
day.
me. That
It
scared me.
definitely scared us because he hadn't realized how important it was for him to take the medicine. Like you think, okay, I mean, because how many stories have you heard of people not taking their medicine and they're fine? But then again, it's like, I don't know if it's a stigma. And maybe this is a conversation like we need to have a men's night. There's a couple men's night topics that
That
we
one.
need to
That why I
have.
say, man, go get yourself checked,
But
man.
you definitely got to get checked because you don't know how many things
Could be wrong.
could be stopped or blocked
Mm-hmm.
if you catch it timely enough.
Right.
So
Right.
check your feelings at the door and check your health at the door.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm sorry to get off topic with this,
Hey,
but
this we
since
listen, God is in this. We got it.
once it came on, I really had to speak on this because that be like the leading cause of black men just not going to go get themselves checked at the doctor. Now I feel good, so I'm good. I don't need to go. I wasn't feeling good. The one time when I really knew that I needed to get some things checked, I don't know if Trini remembers this. I wasn't feeling good, so I was like, "Man, I'm gonna go take a shower." And I went to in our bathroom. We have a standing shower without the tub, so I got in the kids shower, and I'm in the shower for a long time. Trina come in that joint, I'm asleep, laying in the tub. I'm knocked out. But that was the only way that I could feel comfortable. Every time I got in the bed, felt like my head was about to explode. And I'm a walking testimony when I sit here and tell y'all, please go get that check. If you need to take medicine, take your medicine. If you want to go the holistic route, make sure you doing it right. Um, I was trying to self-diagnose myself.
How many times we people go to Dr. Google? Like,
Yeah,
cause
yeah, that ain't it. You can use Google to help you, but don't just take it and leave it at Google. If you feel like you're having headaches, type in what it is. All right, cool. Google say this. Go to the doctors and see. Make sure. Make sure. Um, just like you got to find the right therapist for you, you got to find the right doctor for you. Because there's some doctors out here that just push you with pills. So yeah, that too. Mental health. That's a big thing. Um, I think that was we had kind of touched on mental health a little bit in some other topics because, like I say, it's unscripted. So we'll bounce around a little bit here and there.
so I want to ask this question, and again, I think this is a show for a men's night as well. But what tools, and if Ricky is on here or Daddy, you're on here too, what tools do men use for their mental health? Like I journal, and I know most women journal. I don't know too many men that do journal. So what helps you decode everything that's going on in your mind?
Uh, so
Like what's this, is there a stigma when it comes to journaling? Like why?
I I I would say, of course, because they always will say writing is a woman's thing. They would say these things. But we got to get out of what's for women and what's for men. We
Because
kind of got to get out of that.
so I asked that because I think as men, or as even as you're training the kids up, that there's this perception that you have to be strong, right? Always strong. Like they say how kids, not why you crying, what you crying for, that type of thing, and how men have a hard time expressing the emotions. But I think that's the stigma that society has put into place, that men don't talk about their feelings. And that's the thing. That's where we have to overcome and change that narrative,
Yeah.
because if you don't talk about what's going on, then you can't check your feelings at the door. You can't check your health at the door. Like you are literally a walking time bomb, and
Yes.
somebody could say one little thing to you and you're going to set it off.
That was me. That was me. I'm telling y'all, those on here that really know me from when I was younger, not even gonna say younger, 20, what you say, babe, 32? Every day I try to be better than I am yesterday. But I was definitely that ticking time bomb to where you could say anything. And I mean that's even to the kids. I hate to say it, but that was to the kids too. So I would say that what helped me engage with all this was you talking to me about it. And then me seeing what it's doing to the kids. That was enough for me to say, now I need to make a change because I don't want this cycle to continue to repeat itself on the anger and not being able to control our emotions, because everybody has the same emotions. Men, women, we have the same emotions. We just have to learn to master our emotions. As a kung fu artist, they say master your craft, master your emotions. I always tell people, I say a lot of times when it comes to, unless you've been diagnosed with something, we be in our own heads a lot of times with stuff. And Rick on here says talking to other men. That's also a great thing as well. But you, just like when you go to a therapist, you go to a doctor, you have to be mindful of those people that you are also communicating with, because if they're not aligned with you and aligned with everything that you're going through, they could take you down the wrong path as well.
That pity party.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because a lot of times we look at each other and we might be envious, like, man, dang, I want my marriage to look like that. But then they may start throwing you curveballs because they want their relationship they want you to fall down the slope like they kind of fell down the slope.
Right. So I think that's it. That gets back to what we talked about before. Is like finding your tribe, finding your people, finding the ones that you can create a healthy, environment circle with. But I think going back to the men, not even men, women too, because there is this thing. I got to be superwoman, right? But
That's the media now doing that now.
yeah, but I think what we have to be honest with is to be able to master your emotions, you have to be honest with what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because too often we try and push down and what I consider ignoring override, which was my default setting for a long time. Like if I don't deal with it, then it's just gonna go away. It's like it's the elephant in the room
Jack in the
and
box.
the jack in the box. And like I can't master my emotions if I cannot be honest with myself and be like, you know what? I don't know how to forgive. I am angry. I don't know how to walk in love. Like I hate this. I hate that. If I can't be honest with myself
Nothing gonna work.
about what I'm feeling, I'm saying this. I said this when I spoke 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. God, thank you. That you can't heal what you don't reveal,
Mm-hmm.
and that if I can't give what I'm feeling a name and ask the questions like, why am I feeling this? How long is it going to stay? What do I need to do? Like, why is what I'm feeling what I'm feeling? And being honest with that. Now, you got to ask yourself that, but sometimes the answer is not going to be quick.
Nope.
And you have to understand, like, you feel it, but you can't really explain it. And that's when you got to go to God and be like, okay, this is what I'm feeling. God, help me understand what it is, why I'm feeling it, what do I need to change? Like have the whole conversation. But mastering your emotions all starts with admitting
Yeah.
what you feel.
Yep. And it's so crazy that you say that because I've been kind of writing down whenever we come up with a topic, I'll write down little key points. And that was a lot of the what Trina was saying. She didn't even look at the same thing. She don't come with anything. I said, you've been doing this for a long while now. And you good at talking off the top of the head. And I will spin this joint like a roller coaster and be everywhere. So I try to take some little notes here and there so that way I can kind of stay on board with things. But but what you saying and what I was reading, several things, it was saying those same exact things. So you was asking, what is it that I do? I kind of talk to myself in my head. Um and going to those conferences and things like that, that what that does for me, it's like putting a jumper cables to a car and cranking it. It restarts me to where now I'm out of that element of, oh, this only is happening to me. Nah, no. This is
Right.
why I push for people to talk to other people, to go to these counseling. When I come back, I know a lot of my close friends and things like that. They be like, Dre, man, next time you go, bro, let me know. And at the time I forget because I'm so excited to go for myself that I really truly and if anybody on here listen, I apologize to y'all because I can't keep this stuff to myself. We gotta spill it and let everybody get this great knowledge. So journaling, it did. I would say it wouldn't work for me. I've never been a good writer. I would think that I would just be wasting paper.
But have you tried it?
I've never tried it, and I'm gonna tell you why I have never tried it. I don't like writing. I if I had a choice to be able to talk my way out of a situation or write my way out of it, I'm about to talk my way all the way out of it.
You got your phone, do a voice memo.
But that's why I say I talk to myself in
But
my head.
yeah, but talking to your, so here's why I say I like journaling, because it allows me to get the thoughts out of my head, right? And so I can sit and I can just get all the thoughts out. But then after I've been able to get the thoughts out, had the time to be able to hear what God is, saying, or just getting it out, period. If I come back to it later,
Mhm.
then I start getting more clarity. Like if there's something, and like I wrote in my journal 9 years ago, and you go back and you kind of see the headspace you were in then to see where you are now, like there's so much gratitude and so much of a beautiful feeling that you feel because you look at, okay, here's what I've overcome, or here's what I'm still dealing with, type of thing. So it's like journaling doesn't have to be you writing in a book. It could be you doing your voice memos. It could be, some people journal by creating art. Like journaling doesn't have to look a certain way, but you got to figure out what works for you. Like you saying you talk to yourself, but sometimes, well, that's your way. Let me say
I,
that. That's your
but
way.
but
That might
I
work for
mean
you.
I don't know. But I will
Um,
say
Tiffany said you already journaling with the notes you take.
and I mean if I guess so. I guess so. Honestly, I mean because like I said, I take down what I feel like it would be great talking points. Somebody else when they do it, it might be a totally different talking point that they might have. So when it's on here, it was like journaling and developing habits of writing and thinking about how you feel. And then describe your feelings right now. So we actually got our son to start doing some journaling, and it's been helping him. He don't do it all the time, but when he does do it, I definitely see a difference in him. Um, as far as him trying to control his emotions as well, because I was having a conversation with my mom about this the other day. Is I don't knock my parents for how they raised me. And nobody should, because I told them, I was like, listen, I wasn't physically abused, I wasn't mentally abused. Um, but there's no book in parenting, and there's books in parenting, but that book may not be for your parenting style. It may not be for your child's parenting style.
That was based on their experience.
It was based on their experience.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I see that I can't really discipline Nick and Ari like I was disciplined, that has been working so much more. I can't discipline Kayla as I was disciplined. I grew up in a house with all dudes. My mother was so tough on me, she felt like another dude. My father felt bad for me sometimes. He'd be like, dang, Drake. But it was one of the things to where it was an old saying, not even an old saying. We was talking about this. Should you fear your parents? Not fear them as if you're scared of them, but fear them because you don't know what the consequences may be. It don't even have to be a spanking. It could be so sporadic that they don't know. Man, we might not get our tablets forever. I know one thing that used to get me, and I told my parents this, we had this discussion. I said, y'all spanking me, all it did was make me tougher. But when y'all took things from me, oh, that hurt like crazy. Being able to look outside and you can't go outside because your homeboys out there knocking on the door and they, can Andre come out? Nah, my man punished for 2 months. That hurts more than a spanking because spankings last 10, 15 minutes. But that
What kind of
punishment.
spankings you get where they last in 10, 15 minutes? Oh, just
No,
from
the pain.
Okay, the
Once the
pain.
pain gone, the spanking gone.
I'm about to be like, Monday, do we need to have a
No, so let me
conversation?
let me clear that up before CPS get called on my folks. They ain't never spanked me for no 15, 20 minutes. Just the pain of that. Even you having your feelings hurt, like, damn, my parents just spanked me. That lasts 10 or 15 minutes. If they didn't punish me, they was like, I can go back outside. Guess what happened to somebody outside? They got punished. But that was
You didn't check your feelings at the door.
I didn't. My parents ain't checked their feelings when they spanked me, so I wasn't checking my feelings. Nobody when it was time for them to get it, And if that was one of the, I would say, me not being able to control my emotions. I honestly would say that's what made me a great football player because I never checked my emotions. My emotions, I checked them on the field, but I felt like it was needed. I needed to get that out, So go back to it. You have to do what works for you. So football was for me when I was younger. I had to figure out what I was going to do once football was over because I even started playing flag football, and that was even worse. It really didn't it didn't help me. It didn't give me an outlet because it was a lot of negative energy out there too. Yeah, 2 months inside. It sucks, bro. But I'm gonna tell you, I'd take a spanking over that 2 months inside in a heartbeat. But it even was worse when you got the spanking and the 2 months. that was even worse. But yeah. And so the I won't say that football helped. It allowed me to let my anger out.
I was going to say that's probably how men use sports as the way to get the emotions out. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. So I get
Yeah.
it. So I get it. But I'm just thinking like, okay, just try it.
I'm not opposed to trying anything now other than chitlins.
See how we go from a different topic, y'all.
But no, at this point, where I am, and thanks to Trina, thanks to my kids, because I tell them all the time, I learn so much from y'all. Whether y'all know this or not, I learn from y'all every day. And I tell them these things, even my soccer team, I tell them that I learn from them because I want them to understand no matter what age you are, there's no such thing as that you know everything. So the more that you learn, the better you get. So that's learning yourself. Learn yourself. Sometimes, and now, babe, I'm gonna go back because now that you've been home for how long now? Like not even just from you losing the accounting job. How long have you been since COVID? You've
Yeah,
been
since when we got sent home, what, March of 2019?
yeah. And you know what? One thing I don't think that I thought about was you being stuck in this joint all day.
I don't mind now. Okay, I say I don't mind because you already know I can. This is my space. But there are times like now where I need to get out. So like Roman and I will go walking, or like a couple weeks ago I was meeting Lavon, and she was like, "Well, I come to your house," and I was like, "No, I'll come to yours." And when I
Yeah, I need
told
to get
her,
out of here.
she was like, "Well, we could have did this," but I was like, "No, it's for me. It's getting out of the house
And that might have
and
been for
getting."
her too.
Well, I didn't think about that. So my bad, Lavon. Let's figure out another time you can come here. But just saying, like, I don't mind. I love being home because I know there's always something for me to do. There's something for me to create. And when I need to get out, the dog is here. Like we'll get out and we'll go walking, or I'll go on the deck or whatever it is. So, but that's not everybody. But for me, it works for me. So
Yeah. So, because when you started talking about it, I was like, dang, I never thought about Trina being home all day. Do she need an outlet?
but I will say that I have noticed since I haven't been working the full time job, that I feel as if maybe this shouldn't be said on here. Maybe I should have this conversation. I'm gonna table that for later on. We'll talk about that later.
We can talk about it later. Is that you God talking about it, or is that me and you talking about it?
No, it's me and you.
Okay.
Me
All
and
right.
you.
All right. Buy a nasty thing up. It's okay. Oh, damn. Joe on here. God dog it. Back to the script, y'all. uh so I honestly I might try this, y'all. And I ain't gonna say I might. I think I'm gonna try this because as I was jotting some things down, and it was saying like, how would you describe that emotion? So if somebody um makes you upset, right? How would you describe the emotion at that time? Like, what was it that that person did that made you upset? And then what were you doing that made it to the point where you're like, dang, I am really upset about that. And then it's just a couple different talking points. The other day, and not even the other day, it made me say this to where if we allow someone to get us out of our character, we've now let that person have so much power over us.
Absolutely.
And when this came to me, I didn't even think about it until I said it again. And I was like, dang, I was allowing people to get me out of my character. I'm a laugh, joke, go person. I love to laugh. That's all I want to do. I love laughing and all that. And then when I'm not at that point, no matter who it was, if it was the dog, if it was the kids, I allowed them to have more power over me than myself. Because we should not allow anyone to have that much power over us to where they take us out of our character. And that has been helping me so much. Just hearing that. And then I got stories on when Trina sat me down like, listen, just because how you was raised don't mean it's the right way. How that person raised don't mean it was the wrong way. You have to look at things full circle. And I started doing that, looking at things all the way around, and I just my point of view also helps me with the anger pieces of it. I mean, it's a whole lot, like honestly, but helping myself, I'm like, dang, I'm never going to allow anyone to have that type of power over me anymore, where it takes me completely out of my character. And because when I'm at that character, I don't like that character myself.
And I think that's where it's helpful for us to really have the time to be able to figure that out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't do the work to say, I'm not going to let anybody have any power over me, then you're going to stay in that place where you're never
Yes.
checking your feelings at the door.
Yes.
And I will say this, to be able to manage your emotions, give them a name, reveal them, you got to be prepared
Yeah.
for what you uncover, because you might uncover that you the nastiest person out there, that you don't have love for anybody, that you don't walk in forgiveness. And you got to ask yourself, are you ready to hear that, to feel that, to say that?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not, you're going to continue the cycle. Like I'm always asking in the Beautiful Society or any of the women that I talk to, what does your beautiful look like for you?
Yeah.
And until you can name that, you never create your anchor.
Mm-hmm.
So when life starts life and you don't have the foundation that you need to stand on,
And what's that foundation should be made out of? Concrete. Concrete.
but you never have that foundation because you never were able to define what beautiful looked like for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with your feelings. If you aren't ready to deal with that, if you aren't ready to name that, then that's okay. When you are ready, that's when you go through the process. Because once you start the process of healing and working through the emotions, naming all the feelings, coming up and saying, listen, I need some therapy. Therapy is okay, y'all. Listen, try God and try therapy at the same time. Like you can do both of them. And that's okay. We got to remove the stigma off of therapy. But until you are ready, it's like the Alcoholics Anonymous thing. Like, what's the first one?
I don't know. I don't
Admit that you
remember.
have a problem or
Yep,
whatever it
yep,
is.
yep, yep.
Like,
That shouldn't even be Alcohol Anonymous.
well,
That should
any
be
right,
everything.
but anybody.
Yeah.
But you have to honestly be ready to deal with whatever you are claiming, not claiming, but naming, revealing, and things like that, because you really may uncover some stinky stuff, and you have to be ready to deal with that, because the more you peel back the layers, there's healing. You may think, oh, I'm healed in this area because I done forgave so and so. But then you may be in another conversation, there's a word or somebody else may trigger you, and you're back into that situation
Mm-hmm.
again. And the thing is, when you are going in through that healing, you got to understand it's a continual process. It's you never stop bettering yourself, you never stop growing,
Mm-hmm.
because there's always something that we can improve on. It's just that you have to be ready to be able to deal with whatever you uncover, because it could be some serious stuff that you realize.
Don't take it personal.
You can't take it personal.
Because if you are ready to grow, they say that rose will grow through concrete. You can grow through that concrete too, but you got to be ready to. You got to be able to say, I'm gonna put all my emotions to the side, and I'm gonna walk with God, and He gonna walk. And He gonna get you through it. He gonna get you through it. But
Yeah.
you honestly have to say, I am going to do this. You got to stand in that mirror. Stand in the mirror. Stand in the mirror. If y'all don't have a full mirror,
Full length.
full length mirror, go stand in that bathroom mirror. Stand in the bathroom mirror. And Trini used to have these affirmations up on the mirror. I think she don't need them no more because I don't see them. But that don't mean that they not in her journal. That don't mean that they not still around. But they used to like really be on her mirror. And I would read them. I hope she didn't mind. But I would read them. It might like honestly, she don't know. That could have really been helping me.
So do I need to go back to the affirmations on the mirror back? Kayla said it, so I'll go back to him because Kayla
Okay.
had mentioned it too.
Oh, because
But
you was writing something on her mirror as well.
she had
Yeah.
them on hers. But I think that's where it's just like Tiffany said, it's a mature move. Like, to
Gotta
be
be ready.
able, you gotta be ready. And that's the thing I think
It's
we
not
have to
easy.
it's definitely not easy. But I'll say this, also give yourself grace, because as you move through the healing process, you may realize, okay, maybe I'm not as ready as I thought it was. And you may find yourself having to take two steps back, and that's okay. The fact is, take your two steps back, redirect, pivot, do whatever you need to do, but keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward. Because I tell this, I tell this to Nick all the time. Who win the race every time? The turtle or the head? Every time the turtle wins. Because the turtle keeps the same pace. He never veers off left or right. he keeps that same pace. What the rabbit do? Rabbit like, oh, I got a big lead. I could take a nap. I could do this. I could do all of the things to take me off my path. But the turtle don't never leaves, never veers off his path, left or right. So I use a lot of analogies because seems to work for me. It seems to work for the kids, as far as helping them understand things. Before we left, me and Nick got into a little situation, and I don't never ever. And when I say a little situation, I just want him to understand that when Daddy asks you to do things, it's not because I'm being mean or nothing to you. It's we move the way we move. We have to move that way. So, and I'm like, Nick, go put your shoes on. He like, my shoes downstairs. But now it's time to go. You still don't have your shoes on. Now I gotta wait for you. I said, if you'd have went downstairs and put your shoes on, I'd have walked right behind you. We'd have walked out the door together. So I have these conversations with him so that he just not saying, man, Daddy just always so mean. No, he tell me this and that. No. We gonna talk about it. So the whole time we was down there, we was talking. I let him speak. And I always tell him, I'm like, I want you to have a voice. I want you to have an opinion, but it has to be respectful. That's talking to your mother. That's talking to me. That's talking to your teachers. That's talking to anybody who's considered an adult. Even respect your peers. Respect their opinion. Because if you don't respect their opinion, how you going to expect them to respect you? Mm-hmm. And I teach them and I tell them this. Respect is not given. It's earned. It's earned out here. So if you give respect, respect will come back to you. If somebody not respecting you, you give them respect, that means that person need to be out your circle. You know? They don't need to be there. Because that person is not respecting your space, not respecting not respecting you at all. So it's time for that person to go and move on. Now, that person could be anybody, family, friends. It could be any of those things. If someone is not giving you the respect, but you giving it, roll out. Roll out. It's just that checking them emotions at the door, checking them feelings at the door. And we have to move like this. Now we out here with thousands of people all the time, and we come across people in our paths all the time. You have to figure out why the good man put those people in your life, because he puts people good and bad in your life for a reason. Mm-hmm. Because you do learn from those negative interactions, and it doesn't do nothing if you move in the right way. It ain't gonna do nothing but make you stronger. The old saying, what don't kill you make you stronger. You know, it's the same way with checking those things at the door. We gotta put our egos to the side too. Yeah. Them egos, those prides. We gotta put them things to the side and say, you know what? Nah. I had to learn that too. It was times where I'm gonna go back and forth with somebody. And she'll be like, it's not worth it, babe. You're giving it too much energy. And then it took me a long time to learn and understand that. But that's why she's still here. Because I learned that. And I'm still growing and learning it. So yeah, I love this. Cause we sat down and had that conversation. Cause I told you in one time I felt like, you know, she was kind of bringing whatever was happening at home to me. Cause I think this was before we had Ariana and Nick.
Me from work.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't get mad at her. She didn't get mad at me. We sat there and we talked about it, and from that point on, we've now started discussing our jobs.
Maybe we need a code word. So like when one of us texts that word, then you'll know, hey,
don't come home.
Not necessarily don't come home, but just know it's a little, you know, we need to be gentle when we come in the door, or, you know, like, so you can say an extra prayer, or, you know, send a little funny meme, or, you know, whatever, just to kind of shift the environment, because laughter is good for the soul, y'all. So do whatever you can to say it. But
that's why I'm 162 years old and I still look 39. Cause I'm always on laughter.
That 162.
162. I might have been 132 last week. But yeah, nah. This always also this is another thing that this might be our journaling.
This,
Yeah.
you right?
Yeah, this
You
I
right?
no, you know what? I ain't even gonna say it might be. This is my journaling. I look forward to this every Tuesday. And it's a day it made me really think though. I was like, dang, we do this jump every week. It's 4 weeks in a month. And multiply that by 12. We ain't got enough topics to talk about. Maybe we need to do this jump once a month or
Well,
something.
no. So that might be Nicholas.
Sorry, y'all.
Um.
We had to drop the boy off at
So
practice.
no. This is good because we thank y'all for riding this journey out. We don't know. This is our unscripted beautiful life. But if there are topics that you feel
Do
like,
this.
hey, y'all need to spotlight this, or if it's a person you want to come on, or if you want to come on with us, because it ain't got to be all us. I don't mind stepping to the side and y'all do y'all thing. But if there are things like you like, hey, this would be a great topic um to discuss, please share that, because we get the topics and sometimes it's last minute before we come up with things. But if there's something you like, listen, y'all are really, like changing the narrative on beautiful. We're creating a beautiful life, and that's what we're here for. And so if there's topics that you want to discuss, just inbox one of us, text one of us, call us, whatever, put it on here. Whatever it is, this ain't just for us, this is for everybody, because I'm
Yep.
pretty sure if there's a topic that's come across your path, that is a topic that somebody else needs to hear or have experienced. So
I like that idea, babe, of them dropping that
listen,
in
and
the
one
email
day
or
we
something.
gonna have. I'm throwing this out there because I'm trying to give out. Maybe God gonna let us do this live somewhere. Like y'all gonna come if we do. How I ain't saying how. I don't listen.
You mean live like because
Like
we live right now.
no, live like in a spot. Like we all meet up somewhere and we do like a live, you know, get together, meet up, something. I don't know. I'm
Man,
just talking out the side right
nah,
now,
that
but I'm
sounds
just
dope
saying.
too. Because I'm pretty
I think
sure
it'd be fun.
I know for a fact that the Team Childs they gonna be there. I ain't even worried about that. If we
And the
say
Willies, if
yeah,
they all here,
yeah,
Alicia and Truck.
yeah, yeah. So I ain't too much worried about that because Alicia Johnson said all it takes is one.
You right about that.
So if we got one there, we gonna have a blast. If it was a
Oh,
million there,
Miss Bonnie said it would be good. Okay, Miss Bonnie.
do it.
We gonna figure it out because
Yes, we are.
I got something else I gotta
Yes,
work
we
on,
are.
but I gotta do that first.
Hey, it's a time and place for everything, babe. So whenever that time is, God gonna say, there you
That's
go.
it.
Put it
That's
right on
it.
our plate.
We got plans. We have some
Oh yeah.
ideas. So
Oh yeah.
we thank y'all for joining us for the Unscripted Beautiful Life. Remember, check your feelings at the door. Your feelings, deal with your emotions, master the emotions, do what you need to do to name it, claim it, and feel it. Because no more walking around as, ignore and override. Like let's heal some hearts, some minds, so that we can truly create a beautiful life. So thank you for
Yes.
joining us. Anything else you want to say?
And like I said, all I ask y'all to do is be better than you were yesterday.
That's it.
And we are signing off for Mr. and
Mrs. Beautiful.
let's do it.
Good night, y'all. Have a good one.